Hi folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. So this garden update is going to be just a little bit late. This is about 8.5 weeks. I got pretty busy last week and was not able to get to it. So really this one's about 3 days shy. So this is Saturday, and this Monday this garden would be at 9 weeks. So there's been a lot of changes. We're growing lots of cantaloupe. I have tomatoes starting to ripen. So I'm going to take you into the garden and show you how it's going. Remember, the wide 20-foot bed is the one that's been in a week longer, so it's 8.5. And the narrower bed with the corn in it, that's actually at 7.5 weeks. Okay, so here we are with the tomatoes. You can see that they're growing like crazy all the way down through here. Just lots and lots of tomatoes. And I actually have some that are just starting to turn a little red. As you can see, there's one little guy down here. So a lot of tomatoes are going on. I have had one more plant suffer from what I believe is the attack of the tube grubs. So I'm going to take you down to the end and just show you that. So here's where we lost the one plant just a couple plants over, like right in here. And then this plant right here on the very end. You can see he's still looking a little droopy on some of his leaves here during the heat of the day. These next 2 days are going to be severely hot days. I think they said we get close to 100 tomorrow. It's real high humidity as well. Now, this plant I came out and was pretty much completely wilted like that last one. What I did is prune all the bottom foliage off and some of the top foliage, and I've just been watering him really good. And I gave him foliage sprays over the entire last weekend. And he's kept his fruit, and he's really started to recover. He hasn't set any new fruit, but he is starting to grow a little bit. So it tells me that this plant is stressed right now, but recovering. I'll see if I can at least keep the fruit on him. You can see there off to the side right here, that's a tomato going red. So I will have some fresh garden tomatoes very soon. And I also did lose a cantaloupe plant over here, but I have a lot of cantaloupe growing, so I'm going to go take you over there and show you what happened. Okay, so the cantaloupe are growing. I'll kind of show you here, putting them in these slings. And so here within this sling is the cantaloupe growing, and then this will just support his weight as he's hanging out there. So I'm starting to see some of these leaves. This is on my cucumber plant. That's a potassium deficiency, I believe. I'll probably give these a little extra potassium. Starting to see some problems there too. So these upper leaves are looking okay. So I did have a plant that died from vine borer. And he's over here in the garden and just got down into the vine. So I've been spraying the rest of these with BT and watching them very closely. I do have something going on with this plant right here that I'm going to show you. Okay, so as you can see on this plant here, we have a lot of dead and dying and wilting leaves, but they're only at the bottom. As we get up to the top, this plant is doing good and healthy. He's also still growing too. Perfectly good cantaloupe at the bottom. It's maybe an over-fertilization issue. I did get a little too much down here last week on this end. It may be I got some on the leaves and burned them. I'm not real sure. But definitely something going on with that plant. But up top, he's still growing. He's still productive, producing 2 fruits. So I'm going to just trim off the dead growth, prune him real good, and let him go and see what happens. So other than that, I do just have cantaloupe setting and growing all the way through here in slings. I have lots of little baby cantaloupe here setting all over the place. Um, I have some more that I'm going to need to get in slings soon. Um, there's just female flowers that have flowered all through here. We'll see which ones got pollinated and set. But it looks like I'm going to have quite a few cantaloupe. I have a nice long cucumber there. And I got another one growing down here and a great big giant one that needs picked down here at the bottom, I think. He's still growing. These are like really long. I'm going to go ahead and pick them, but they're not getting real. It's not getting real thick yet, so my guess is that thing might still grow longer yet. I don't know what variety this is. This was supposed to be a cantaloupe plant, and it surprised me it was a cucumber plant. But we've been eating these; they're really good. So I guess we're happy to have them. All right, so these peppers are doing great. I'm sure there's some in here that are probably ready to pick. I've been coming out and just grabbing them every so often. I kind of like them a little bit younger before they get real big. They're just a little more tender that way. Trying to find a couple. Yeah, there's just tons and tons of these peppers down in here, all over the place. Most of them, I'm going to let them get a little bigger before I pick them. Um, I've also got bell peppers growing all over in here. Looks like this purple one's about ready to go. Get him picked. So there's a purple bell pepper. I think we'll go down there and see if it's ready. And more growing on him too. So as you can see, the garden is starting to become fairly productive here. So I'm real happy with that. Okay, so oh, hang on. I see some big peppers that need to get picked here soon. So yeah, there's some more peppers there. So as you see, I'm starting to get some productivity out of the garden here. I'll have to set these down somewhere so I can work the camera. So the corn is now way taller than me and way taller than my T-frames. I'm going to put this camera back on the tripod and then go over here and just kind of show you that it's taller than me with my hands extended all the way. Okay, so you can see the corn. You know, this one I can touch, but these over here are actually completely taller than I am with my hand all the way extended. I'm starting to get some stalks growing in here just a little bit. I'm starting to see the beginnings of them. You know, I've got, oh, there's a bee there pollinating. So, yeah, this is some pretty massive corn. I'm actually pretty happy with the results on this. Very, very healthy corn. Okay, so the potatoes are still growing like crazy. They're still green. I really expected that they would be really dying back by now. I have one small spot that's dying back a little, but the rest of these are still very green and very growing. As long as they're green and they're growing, that photosynthesis is making carbohydrates. Spuds are made out of carbohydrates by combining carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. So lots of foliage means lots of potatoes. So I'm just going to let them keep growing until they do die back. So the beans here are just growing really well. I am starting to get some beans. I'm probably going to have to come out here and harvest these before long. You can see I'm just full of beans all down through here. Good old-fashioned green beans there. And this is actually the best part of working in the garden. There's nothing like stuff picked straight off the plant. Anyway, let me show you my Roma tomatoes here. Okay, so I've got some that are just starting to show some signs of ripeness down in here. But this has really just turned into a giant bush of tomatoes. They're pulling my stakes over. They're getting so heavy. I'm just going to have to let them grow at this point. There's not a lot I can do because there's just big fists of fruit all the way down through here. So I sprayed a little BT on them so we don't get the tobacco or the hornworm, and I'm just going to let them go. Oh, I just broke off that one's growing tip. All right, that's okay. There's plenty more growing tips. Okay, so here's the pumpkins. They're pretty happy. Big plants. So I'll show you the biggest one here. There's 4 or 5 growing down in here. So sure you can, hopefully you can see that. Pumpkin growing there. And like I said, there's more smaller ones growing all down in through here. So definitely going to have some pumpkins. See a couple more over there. I'm good with that. I am having to start feeding them a little heavier than I was. Just now that they're in production, they are really sucking up the nutrients. Next year I'll space the plants farther apart. I won't plant 3 together like I did because they are in competition with each other for sure. But that's it. Good pumpkins. Alright, so it's really hot out here. Sweating like crazy. I'm going to be watering. I might put up a sling or 2. I'm getting ready to head over to another YouTube channel that is also doing a garden here right around my hometown. I'm going to do a video with him, show you his garden. He has an absolutely amazing garden. So look for that to be up here in a day or 2. But you can see my garden's doing great. I've lost a couple plants. I had a vine borer. I had some grubs. But it looks like I'm going to have plenty of productivity because I planted plenty of plants close together. They're healthy. They're fed right. So it's always possible to lose a plant or 2. And it's always possible to have disaster where you lose multiple plants. But generally, if you follow the 6 laws of plant growth and you follow the Mittleider method and try to eliminate competition from pests and rodents and things as best as you can generally be very successful gardening and growing food for your family with this method. So I'll see y'all again next week for another garden update. I think I'm going to start doing these on Saturday because Monday nights are just kind of crazy with my job and everything that's going on to get out here and get it done before the sun goes down. I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, the Frugal Prepper. Live happy, be free, be frugal with your money, and don't spend money today on things that you want when you might need it for things that you need tomorrow.